minutes have been played. 20 thrilling minutes in this contest, and we have a tie game. The Penguins have a 3-3 deadlock with the Chicago Blackhawks. Let's take a look at how this all unfolded. Jaromir Jagr from Loney at 1:37. The first of 3 Graham goals from Matteau and Chelios at 6:21 tied it. Pittsburgh right back ahead 12 seconds later. Stevens from Lemieux and Tocchet. Then, 18 seconds after that, a 2-2 tie, Graham from Chelios. Lemieux on the power play. That's Mario Lemieux from Murphy and Stevens at 10:13, and then another tying goal, and the first Chicago hat trick of the playoffs. Dirk Graham, the captain, from Noonan and Jocelyn Lemieux at 16:18. Shots on goal in the period for the Pittsburgh Penguins 12, for the Chicago Blackhawks 8. Well, at the start of this contest, John Davidson and I had the pleasure of being up in the organ loft and kind of feeling the crowd. I think that a lot of people outside of Chicago felt the crowd would really commit a lot to these Blackhawks and help them in Game 3. A lot of people inside Chicago felt that too, but boy, that crowd was never louder, at least by my recollection, than what we had tonight. The team picked it up. Whether it was from that or not, we don't know. You count on your leaders at a time like this, and Dirk Graham is probably the captain who epitomizes the Blackhawk work ethic and the Blackhawk character, and he's come to the fore to tie this game 3 times. When you talk about character, boy, there's some splendid guys who played this game over the 75-year history, and there was a fan balloting this year to pick the all-time great National Hockey League All-Star team at 2 defense positions, 3 forward positions, goaltender, as well as coach. Ballot results are in. Let's take a look and review. Toe Blake, coach of 8 Stanley Cup champions with Montreal. 8 titles in 13 years, including 5 straight from 1956 through 60. Ken Dryden, in just under a decade, he backstopped Montreal to 6 Stanley Cup titles, 5 times a first All-Star goaltender. Bobby Orr, the revolutionary defenseman who blended offense with defense and had tremendous transition speed, one of the defensemen. Yet historians of an earlier era say that Doug Harvey was the first defenseman to join the rush and to turn a 3-on-2 into a 4-on-2. The all-time leading goal scorer, Gordie Howe, 12 times a first-team All-Star with the Detroit Red Wings. The guy who made the stadium roar for a number of seasons, 10 times a first-team All-Star, the master of the hook blade slap shot, Bobby All, left winger. And finally, one who is not in the Hall of Fame like these others are because he's still playing, Wayne Gretzky. 8 times a first-team All-Star, 7 of those with Edmonton, and the all-time leading scorer on this play with Los Angeles. Those are the 7 best at their positions. We're tied 3-3. First period has been completed. Let's pause for this regional break.
Good nutrition can help keep you healthy and active. Yet many older Americans are at risk because they don't know the warning signs of poor nutrition.
If you often eat alone, take 3 or more prescription drugs a day, or have an illness which has decreased your appetite, you could be at nutritional risk. These are just a few of the warning signs. This simple checklist can help you prevent problems before they happen.
So get a free checklist. Ask a healthcare professional or write Nutrition Box 25657, Washington 20007.
It's country music's biggest event. The prestigious, fan-voted TNN Music City News Country Awards.
I thank you very much. This means a lot.
Join hosts Tanya Tucker and Alan Jackson live from the Grand Ole Opry for country's biggest night. The TNN Music City News Country Awards. Live Monday, June 8th at 9 Eastern on TNN, the Nashville Network.
Is to believe people actually walked away from accidents like these. But before there were seat belts, airbags, child safety seats, or anti-lock brakes, these people wouldn't have had a prayer. Which is why Geico has lobbied for these life-saving technologies for years. You see, we'd like you to be our customer, or somebody's, for a long, long time. Geico, we have only one policy: safety.
Lansdowne is the Washington area's first and most complete resort, featuring a Robert Trent Jones Jr. Championship golf course. Lansdowne is nestled along the banks of the Potomac, just 45 minutes from Washington. 4 tennis courts, Indoor and outdoor swimming pools complement the resort's extensive 10,000 square foot executive fitness center. Lansdowne has overnight packages beginning at just $89. For information, call 1-800-541-4801.
Game 4, 20 minutes have been played, and these two teams are tied at 3-3. John Davidson has joined us. John made quite a point of saying that the New York Rangers had not won the Stanley Cup since 1940. In 1979, they got to the finals, though, and they were up against a guy named William Scott Bowman, who's a pretty good coach.
Yeah, they won, as usual. You know, Mike Keenan, when he first started coaching professionally, coached the farm team of Scotty Bowman's Buffalo Sabres, and he said if there's one thing that he learned from Scotty, it was to have the right players on the ice at the right time for the key situation. So you learn to run the bench. He's amazing the way he's able to bench or coach his team from the bench.
I think that was one of the intriguing matchups that we saw with this series, the coach against the student or the teacher against the student, to see how they do it. Scotty Bowman, of course, has a definite philosophy about these things. Let's listen.
I think the key for our team has been our 6 defensemen. We've been able to get them out pretty evenly. You haven't used maybe one pair over the other, and that's helped a lot. Not always going to get the matchup you want because the other team may not play a certain line at a certain time. So it's a little more difficult with Chicago because Mike Keenan is like the good bench coaches. He doesn't make it predictable.
It's amazing to be part of something like that, just to give him information, watch him digest it, and then spit it right back out. It's amazing.
Well, I always have the next line ready. If I do have a line that's kind of not a regular line, maybe one player, sometimes we'll double shift a Yager or double shift a Mario. Mario's easier to double shift than anybody because he seems to have a lot of stamina and he's not racing all over the ice chasing the puck. So you can get Mario back off the bench onto the ice on a double shift. So I'm generally one line ahead, thinking about the second line, but depending on who I had on, if I want to double shift the player. But Yager's good too because he's young and he can take a lot of ice.
When you don't have the last change, it has to happen pretty quickly because players have to know and our center icemen have to know where we want the puck to go. If there's a face-off on our end and we want to make a change in the fly, we want to get it back, win it back, and try to get the puck out of our zone as soon as possible.
You just have them ready. They know who they have to play against, and the players that are on the ice for your team, we have the first change. We can't match any changes. If they see that the player that's designated for them to be out against isn't on the ice, then they have to get off. And it has to be, well, they have to be careful in the neutral zone. It has to be done maybe with a good shoot-in. If you don't do it at that time, well, you're going to run into a problem.
You'll see tonight, if you watch the bench closely, I'll have a signal with my hand. I won't tell you what it is now, but it's different all the time. You'll notice something unique with my hand, and when I do that with my hand, that usually means we're going to change, and the players know what that signal is. That's the indicator.
But tonight, a bad line change leads to this exchange at the Pittsburgh bench. They've got a lot of pride in getting this thing organized, but take a look at this. Let's pause for this regional break.
You're an experienced, independent investor. You must act decisively and quickly. You need AccuTrade from First National Brokerage Services. AccuTrade is a totally unique direct trading system that lets you buy and sell stocks and pay only 3 cents a share commission. Pick up your phone now and call to find out about AccuTrade.
A touch-tone phone is all you need to tap into AccuTrade 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is an investment tool for the serious investor. You only need a minimum of $5,000 equity to open and maintain your account, and there's a minimum commission of just $48. By paying 3 cents a share commission, you're paying less because you know more. Call this number today, and let's go to work.
Call 1-800-972-2900 to find out if AccuTrade is for you. If you trade large numbers of shares often, why pay more than 3 cents a share commission? You need AccuTrade from First National Brokerage Services.
Amazingly, last year over $135 million in financial aid to students went unclaimed, a fact which creates an incredible business opportunity for the person with vision. Using computers, Academic Guidance Services can solve this dilemma by matching students with financial aid sources. If selected, we can set you up in your own business, where you can enjoy a surprisingly high profit margin of over 300% every time you submit a student for processing. Incredibly, over 2 million students each year are desperately in need of your service, and we show you how to market your business nationwide. In our system, you own your own business, and we do all the processing for you under your own company name. Best of all, the checks are made out to your company, and you make your money right away while you work at home part-time. There's a lot more to tell. See if you're qualified to receive a free videotape. Call the 800 number listed, and do it now while this opportunity is still available.
Tie game, tough to pick out a highlight in this first period, but Bill Clement's going to do it for us.
Well, how can we not pick the Dirk Graham show? We want to look at his second goal, but even goal scorers will tell you they need help. This is our men in play of the first period, and it starts innocently behind the Chicago net. Steve Smith steps out, tries a long pass that goes all the way down the ice, but the helper I want to point out on this is Chris Chelios. As Steve Smith rifles it down the ice, we can stop it right here and show you where Chris Chelios is. Man, does he have to come a long way. As the play goes all the way down to the other end, it looks like it's not going to be a dangerous play, but Dirk Graham goes into forecheck, and we'll stop here and show you Chris Chelios. All the way up on the blue line, he takes a peek, and who does he see? The guy that is button-hooked around the net, right to Dirk Graham, and in. That's Dirk Graham's second goal. And at the end of the first period, it's the Penguins 3 and Dirk Graham 3. The Hawks are alive. Don't go away.
Iron Mike on rust.
I hate rust.
Iron Mike on tough.
This is tough. Rust tough. This is rust. Oleum? The dictionary defines tough as strong, not easily influenced, like me. The definition of oleum is, we sprayed this rusty metal plate with fast-drying rust tough, exposed the rusted metal, then placed it in the torture salt fog chamber. The rust didn't spread, it stayed tough. You want tough? What do you want? Oleum. Got rust? Get tough. Rust tough. He must have heard the good news. Molson's 35-year history with the NHL is going to continue. Molson, bringing you Sports Channel America's exciting NHL coverage.
You know, you get into fitness, you're likely to get an athlete's foot, and it could get pretty tough. The irritating itch, the painful cracking, the burning. That's when you want a medicine that acts tough. Tough Actin Tenactin. Tenactin cures even the tough cases of athlete's foot fungus. And Tenactin's clinically proven. No wonder it's the antifungal most recommended by pharmacists.
Got a tough case of athlete's foot? Get the medicine that acts tough. Tough Actin Tenactin.
Getting ready for the second period here in Chicago. A moment ago, John Davidson had a chance to check with the Pittsburgh coaching staff.
Coach, we go from a 1-0 defensive game to a wild first period. As a coach, what do you think of it?
Well, we have to do one thing. That is, we're being mesmerized by the puck in our own zone. We're leaving Dirk Graham wide open off the far post. And we have to make sure we're checking the players away from the puck as well. We got to get the puck out of our zone a little bit quicker, too, because the more we play in our zone, the more trouble's going to occur.
As a coach of an offensive team, are you happy with the shootout?
Well, it's a 0-0 game as far as we're concerned. That's where we want to be after the first period, so we'll just pick up from there.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Eddie.
Well, the game underway, the second period. Start of the period being brought to you by Molson, a part of the NHL tradition since 1957. Molson is Canadian beer. Brand new game, huh? Well, that's Pittsburgh's approach here. Chicago's Dirk Graham brings them across the line, but lost the puck, and now they're in the middle of a player change, and Charles Samuelson gave it to Samuelson. Up to Mario Lemieux, drops it back to Stevens, centers it across, and Tocchet couldn't get a stick on it. Mario Lemieux did, left it for Stevens. There's Tocchet alone, shoots, left it, he scores! Rick Tocchet regains the lead. Fourth time Pittsburgh is led by a goal. 92.
Well, am I the only guy that could see just adrenaline flowing through the legs of Mario Lemieux and Kevin Stevens and Rick Tocchet? They have come out on the charge. Deep into the zone, Lemieux was able to carry it, put it out front, came back to him again, and Rick Tocchet simply circled in front, waiting for the pass, and when he got it, he put an excellent move on Dominik Hasek. It looked like he was going to his backhand. He cut back to his forehand, and give Hasek some credit. He got a piece of it. Not enough. And Rick Tocchet gives the Penguins a 4-3 lead.
Tocchet's goal at the 58-second mark of the second period. The Hawks back into their own zone to recover the puck. Ron Buskus lays it up the boards and out towards center. Bounced on Jim Pack and got through him, but Shel Samuelson cuts across. Backhands it off the boards, but right to Brian Noonan. Noonan had nowhere to go. He has kicked the puck toward the corner. Roenick can't get to it. Noonan does. Into Roenick. He is checked, and now a backhander by Grimson went wide on the deflection. Penguins get it to Phil Bourque, but not out. Roenick's long shot is right on. Scooped up and held by Tom Barrasso. The Penguins have taken a 4-3 lead at Chicago.
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff action on Sports Channel America is being brought to you by Subaru with all-wheel drive. Subaru is truly what to drive. By Air Canada, it's a welcome departure. And by Molson, a part of the NHL tradition since 1957. Molson is Canadian beer.
Face-off coming in the Pittsburgh zone. Ryan Noonan is in the middle for Chicago. He'll take the draw against Ron Francis of the Penguins. Right away, Gordy Roberts went to the boards to play the puck away from Dirk Graham. And he's dumped it just inside the Chicago zone. Kravchuk back for it. Goulet in to join the play as well. Kravchuk and Chelios are the defense combination. Graham with Goulet and Noonan, the forward. Kravchuk with a pass to Noonan. Noonan got bumped solidly by McKecker, who's cleared at the center. Kravchuk moves it to the right wing boards, and Noonan dumps it in. Comes around to the far side. That's Dirk Graham giving it to Goulet. Back to the point. Kravchuk puts it in deeper. Ryan Noonan, that's by McKecker. The puck in and out of the referee skates. Freed up by Goulet. Kravchuk lets it go. Up on top of the goal crease, above it to make the save is Barrasso. There'll be another face-off coming in the Pittsburgh end of the ice. We're early in the second period.
It is from Kodak. It delivers the highest resolution. Microfine grain. Superior image structure. For ultra-sharp detail. It is called Ektar. Ektar film by Kodak. The genius is in the details. Ektar film now comes in a new cartonless package in 25, 100, and 1,000 speeds.
Chicago sending out a forward line of Jeremy Roenick with Ryan Marchment on left wing and Steve Larmer on the right side. Pittsburgh counters with the Brian Trottier unit. Trottier with Loney and Yager.
Thought Brian Marchment had a good first period. Good skater, aggressive hitter. He's got open holes for Roenick and Larmer.
And Marchment is pulled back and down. The stick came up, and referee Andy Van Helleman's arm came up immediately. Penalty call to be made. Pittsburgh leads by a score of 4-3 as we pause for a regional break. You're watching the 1992 Stanley Cup Championship round on Sports Channel America.
For everybody facing the yearly ritual of cooking their own barbecue, we'd like to suggest professional help. Bob's new and improved barbecue bar with barbecue spare ribs, tender chicken, and everything you need for a barbecue feast. So why go through the trouble of cooking your own barbecue when you can come to Bob's Big Boy and eat all the barbecue you want?
Pittsburgh penalty, Stanton, 2 minutes for hooking at 2.
Well, Paul Stanton only picked up 2 minutes for hooking. It could have been worse because he got his stick up on Brian Marchment, and Marchment went down. Andy Van Helleman took about a minute to go over and check to see how Marchment was. When he didn't look very closely. I think at this stage of the hockey season, Andy Van Helleman doesn't want to know. If it's serious, he's got to know on it, though. Here, Marchment and Stanton coming into the screen, and as Marchment went to the corner, Paul Stanton had his stick right up on him. You know, when the guy that's being hooked raises his arms, it forces the stick up, and very often, it'll be an accidental hook, but it'll catch the guy in the face.
As a result, Chicago on the power play, and Chelios got it away. He'll handle it again as they fed it around to him. Into Brent Sutter. Onto the stick of Jeremy Roenick. Roenick closing away from Murphy. Chelios checked in. couldn't get to the puck in time, and Kravchuk comes back into his own zone as Lemieux moves up to forecheck for Pittsburgh. Lemieux and Francis on the penalty kill, along with Samuelson. Both Samuelson and Murphy. Igor Kravchuk shot it wide, and rebounds right out in front of Murphy is able to clear it. And Francis turns it up ice. Chelios will be the first man back, and Chicago changes the forwards now. Noonan has come out on the ice along with Goulet as Chelios leads the rush. Chelios hard around the boards. Barrasso lets it go this time. He was back checking Noonan, but at the blue line as Kravchuk sees one up. Turned aside by Barrasso. He stumbles, trying to get back into the goal mouth, and now Mario Lemieux will bang it down the ice. 1 minute remaining in the Chicago power play.
And as the play moved up ice, Tom Barrasso was yelling at Andy Van Hellemond. I think he wanted an interference call on Brian Noonan. But the Hawks with lots of time to shoot and lots of time to screen in front.
Now they fail to get across the line, and they'll have to go back. Dominic Hasek will have to play the puck instead. Mario Lemieux came into forecheck. There's Igor Kravchuk with it. And Dirk Graham up the middle of the ice. 3 Penguins back as Graham dumps it in. And rebounded off the boards. Handled by Barrasso. There's Graham, and he is checked. Marchman had it at the point. Graham off left wing. In front to Noonan. To Graham. He is well covered, but now Busquets gets it right back to Graham. He can't do anything with it. The Hawks are chased out towards center ice, but Busquets came back to check Gort. Gort takes a dive. Dirk Graham up with the puck. Put it in the zone, and only 10 seconds left now in the power play as the Penguins shoot it down the ice. Hitting the net is Brian Marchman. Through center ice, tips the puck into the Pittsburgh zone. Justin Stanton stepped out of the penalty box. Larry Murphy plays it to right wing. Held at the line by the Hawks. They dump it wide. Tony Roberts plays it around the boards. Chelios covering the right point. In deeper to Roman. Rob Brown. Brown trying to get away from McEachran. Turns. Can't complete the play. But now he's able to nudge it toward Larmer. Back to the blue line. Marchman with a drive. Through the goaltender and wide of the net. Chelios and Stanton go in deep. There's Rob Brown on the end boards. Brown can't get a stick on it. Murphy does. Picked up by Roenick's check. Rick Tocchet recovers, and McEachran comes out one-on-one. Larmer the lone man back, and the shot is blocked by Steve Larmer. Larmer through center to Roenick. Over the line with a pass to Rob Brown. Trying to get it back to Roenick, and it didn't go through. Here comes Mario Lemieux. Kravchuk back. Lemieux drives in on him, and Hasek makes the save. Wide open again in Chicago. The Penguins are leading the Blackhawks by a single goal. Tocchet, the goal in the second period.
A luxury car says a lot about its owner.
Mine says I'm witty beyond belief.
Mine says I'm more Europeanish.
Mine says I'm the product of superior genes.
A luxury car says
I'm so successful I can go into debt.
I'm much more handsome. Cosmopolitan.
Another pathetic sheep following the herd.
Says a lot. I'm irresistible.
Powerful.
Stylish.
Sexy.
Dynamic.
The all-wheel drive Subaru Legacy. All it says is that you bought a great car and you can still pay your mortgage.
Well, we have seen some terrific goaltending. Not the setup that we started with. Eddie Belfour was pulled in the first period. Dominic Hasek has really settled things down for the Blackhawks. And on the Blackhawks power play, the Penguins committed too many men to one side. This left Marchman wide open for a huge blast that found the 5-hole between Barrasso's legs, but just caromed wide. You don't think this guy doesn't have a reach? Mario Lemieux doesn't have to get in front of you. Watch what he does. He tosses the puck and then simply reaches by Igor Kravchuk for a shot on Hasek. Hasek just was able to stand his ground and make the save. And you better not be lured into playing the puck against Lemieux. Kravchuk played it the only way he could.
Lemieux lines up against Brent Sutter on this face-off. Lemieux went to the boards to recover the puck. Face behind the net, tries to wrap around on the backhand that's wide. Here's Tocchet. He can't slip it out in front. Hasek had it in the catching glove. Or did he? They're going to rule that it was in the match. It didn't end up in the glove. There's where it finally rested. And as a result, the play stoppage, the face-off brought outside the blue line. Oil effects for Brent Sutter, it appears, after stick in the face in that first period and nasty gash there along his left side of his face.
He's back doing what he does best. Even dropped to one knee on that play and was able to come around and regain control of his man-to-man assignment on Lemieux. That's a tall order when you don't fall to one knee.
Now the Blackhawks have dumped the puck in, and Sutter went racing in after it. And Sutter got it back to Kravchuk, and the late penalty call coming here against Pittsburgh. Chelios turned the puck to the corner. Stevens recovers there. And referee Andy Van Helleman is calling a penalty against the Penguins. Another Chicago power play.
Making a sports car, it seems mandatory to mention how fast it can go. Instead, why not mention the things you shouldn't mention about a sports car? A strong weld, over 24 safety features, all-wheel drive, engineering that endures. Still, if it's speed you want, we promise. With the Subaru SVX, you'll easily be able to go as fast as the law allows. Subaru, what to drive.
Wednesday night, we'll be back in Pittsburgh if Chicago wins this hockey game tonight. That would be Game 5 of your Stanley Cup Final.
And Rick Tocchet is off for holding. Gosh, he really took Brian Marchment to the boards and left him there on his back. Kind of surprised that that was called holding.
Rick Tocchet was as surprised as anybody in the arena. Tocchet has the go-ahead goal. Making the score 4-3. The goal just before the 1-minute mark of period 2. Mike Keenan sends Brent Sutter to center ice. Lee Glarmer and Dirk Graham on the wing. Marchment and Chelios on the points. Marchment steps in front of Mario Lemieux, but the puck gets out of the zone and is recovered by Chris Chelios. As Francis going into forecheck. Chelios around to Sutter, tight on the right wing boards. Brent Sutter to Chelios. Lemieux picked up the forecheck. Chelios starts out with it. Dirk Graham. Graham mishandled the puck at the blue line, and Marchment recovers at center ice. Fourth power play of the game for the Blackhawks. Is yet to connect. Brent Sutter tips it into the zone. Larry Murphy gets it to the line and was knocked down by Marchment with a pass that goes to Graham, but it's called back by referee Van Helleman. Stick over the shoulder level is the signal, and with Chicago on the power play, the result is that the face-off comes all the way down the ice into the Chicago zone.
Well, the Blackhawks may have only scored one power play goal in this series, but they're doing a lot of things right. And in this game in particular, they're getting a lot of chances. Should the Penguins not pay attention to their discipline factor, you have to figure that the Chicago Blackhawks, with the chances they're getting, are going to be able to smash one by Tom Barrasso. They've gotten it through him and wide of the post. They just haven't been able to get it through him and into the net. And Mike Keenan is a perceptive coach in this hockey game because he is playing the guys a lot who are playing well, and Brian Marchment is a guy that was really not that much of a factor in this series. Scored a nice goal in Pittsburgh in Game 1. But besides that, hasn't played a lot. Well, Mike Keenan spotted in the first period that Marchment really has the legs tonight, and Brian Marchment is not only playing well, but he is playing a lot.
Newton got the puck to him, winning the faceoff from Francis. Marchment from back to the net. Newton cuts through the middle. The puck went to Roenick, and he stuffed it into the corner. Larry Murphy, the first man there, and he skies it out of the zone. 68 seconds remaining in this Chicago power play. Roenick rounds the net. Gave it to Michel Goulet. Steps over center. Hard in off the boards. Rebounded in front. And all Samuelson got a swipe at it and puts it up into the seats. 55 seconds left in the penalty to Rick Tocchet.
You know, Chicago has modified something in their dunk-ins. They were doing a lot of cross-corner dunks in games, well, in all of the games. Coming down one side and putting it into the far corner, across in front of Tom Barrasso. Michel Goulet was in a foot race for that one. What the Blackhawks are doing is bringing the puck right up the middle of the ice and then shooting it about 10 feet wide on Barrasso so he can't get his stick to it. That means it caroms to the winger that's on whatever side the shot is going to, so you don't have to lob it all the way across the ice and into the far corner. They've had a lot of success with it. Gotten a lot of the pucks back. That last time, all Samuelson had to chip it into the crowd because he had Goulet all over him.
Now Brian Newton is charged with the face-off against Ron Francis. Linesman Swede Knox to put the puck in play between these two centers. But they won't be around for the drop of the puck. Brian Newton is waved out, so Jeremy Roenick comes in. And Francis beat him on the draw. Larry Murphy clears the zone for Pittsburgh. Now Chuk will drop back here. Francis into forecheck to pass to Roenick. Almost gave it away, but he was able to knock the stick out of the hands of Francis. And Newton drops it off for Roenick. Takes the big turn and starts out the pass to Kravchuk. He comes over center ice. Hard around the boards. Barrasso lets it go. Goulet can't recover, and Bob Airy sends Mario Lemieux into center ice. Long shot turned aside by Hasek. Chelios recovering and then Chelios. Through center and across the line. Noonan drives to the net. The pass is tipped and cleared out by Phil Bourque. And again, the Hawks have to go back. Time for one more rush perhaps on this power play. Chelios tight on the right wing boards. Moves it up ahead to Hudson, but that's over two lines and offside with 6 seconds remaining in the penalty to Tocchet. Chelios will get a rest.
You know, he sat for 2 minutes in the first period, so you deduct that potential 2 minutes from his ice time. And his total was just 10 seconds under 10 minutes. We'll round it off and call it 10 minutes out of 18 in the first period. Mike Keenan maintained that in game 1 when he played 35 minutes. He was hardly even out of breath on the bench and wanted to be back out there so quickly. You talk about recovery time. Anybody that's ever had to play a sport that is similar to hockey where you have to give it your all and then recover and then get back out there understands recovery time. Chris Chelios, incredible. 25, 30 seconds on the bench and he is ready.
How about Mario Lemieux? 10 minutes and 35 seconds of ice time in that first period. Defenseman I can understand having the majority of the ice time, but Lemieux, the workhorse that he is, 10 minutes and 35 seconds. Penalty against the Penguins has expired. Pittsburgh leading by a score of 4-3. Had it out of the zone. The Hawks brought it back in offside, so the play is called. We have 12 minutes and 2 seconds left in this period.
A car is a car. It won't make you handsome or prettier or younger, and if it improves your standing with the neighbors, then you live among snobs. A car is steel, electronics, rubber, plastic, and glass. A machine. And in the end, may the best machine win. Subaru, what to drive.
If you like numbers, take a look at this. It basically says that anytime Pittsburgh has gotten their opponent into a position to eliminate them, they do immediately. That is after having won the third game of the series. And look at the difference in goals. 34-7. They've outscored their opponents in winning the fourth game in 7 consecutive series.
We should have had a footnote under that graphic that said something about killer instinct because that's what that's all about.
Now the Blackhawks get a chance, but the shot by Roenick didn't get through, and Trache feeds Yager. Yager across the line, put it through the defense, but Buskers reached back to clear it. Yager feeds back, set him up at the left point, and shot turned aside, and Hajek has geared it up into the seat. Pittsburgh has outshot Chicago 16-13 to this stage in the game.
Mike Keenan has had no reason to think about putting Eddie Belfour back in because Dominik Hasek has played well. The Penguins have been able to get a couple by him. But Mike Keenan was not ready to take a chance. Kevin Stevens scored a one-handed goal between Eddie Belfour's legs in the first period, and at that point, Dominik Hasek came on.
You just joined us. Stanley Cup Final playoff record was broken in the first period tonight. 3 goals in 30 seconds. 2 by Dirk Graham. In between, a goal by Kevin Stevens, the one that Bill referred to that drove starting goaltender Ed Belfour from the net. Previous record had been 31 seconds. McEachran wins the draw for Pittsburgh. Ulf Samuelsson with a long shot off the catching glove of Hasek. Here's Igor Kravchuk starting out with it. Turned back by McEachran, but he was able to feed Roenick, and he couldn't go anywhere. Now an offside being called. 11.5 minutes remaining in this second period. McEachran is with Yager and Phil Bourque at the moment as Scotty Bowman gives us a look at yet another line combination. And Mike Keenan, the Chicago coach, is going to change up his forwards. He'll send out Goulet with Noonan and Bateau. U.S. Olympian Sean McEachran, who's played a lot of right wing, moves into center ice. Natural position out of the college ranks. Chelios dumps the puck in from center ice. Bounced off the board. Goulet gets it to Noonan. Out in front is Bateau, and his shot was blocked by McEachran. Bateau up-battled McEachran to get his stick back, and now Goulet takes the puck. Made it through Noonan, who was back in the net, and up on the left side. Phil Bourque dumps it out. Kravchuk will go back for it. Yager comes into forecheck. Around the boards, held by Mario Lemieux, just jumped over the boards. Chelios Gets to it here. Nice little move on Mario Lemieux. Gave it to Goulet, to Noonan off the tip of his stick. To Bob Samuelson clears the zone. Loose pocket center. Mario Lemieux to Larry Murphy. Murphy across the line. Holds it, then centered, but over the stick of Yager. Lemieux got to it and centered it out in front. Ryan Newman able to clear it out for Chicago. Now the Blackhawks come through center. Drops up the long shot. Bounced off the catching glove. Taken back to the net and then turned up the boards by Gord Roberts. Intercepted by Chelios and front to center, and his shot went wide. That was tipped at the last second, and Yager finds Lemieux moving out. Back comes Steve Smith. Lemieux pulls up, makes the pass. Stevens shot is turned aside. Now comes out in front and is scooped up. What a heady play by Mario Lemieux. Only to have the whole thing denied by Dominic Hasek, and it's still a one-goal game.
If you're a small business that calls many of the same people each month, you can choose a calling plan designed just for you. Introducing the AT&T Partners in Business Plan. Make a list of the 20 numbers your business calls most. For everyone that's an AT&T customer, you'll get a 20% discount. AT&T Partners in Business. Choices, because one size does not fit all. Call us.
Well, this is why we are here, to see athletes compete to their potential and at their potential just about every shift. That last sequence, Lemieux with the pass to Stevens, tremendous save by Dominic Hasek. Tom Barrasso had to make a beautiful save at his end. Here are the Blackhawks closing in on Tom Barrasso. Big shot from the slot that Tom Barrasso was able to get his pad on, seeing it through a crowd. Watch this play by Mario Lemieux. Backhand pass off the fake slap shot to Kevin Stevens, and Dominic Hasek may have been the only guy in the building that read that right.
Now the Hawks are into the Pittsburgh zone, only to have the play broken up. Mario Lemieux, the pass to Stevens. Left side to Rick Tocchet. Tocchet got bumped by Buskus, but he's able to move the puck cross ice to Mario Lemieux, and he leaned into Marchment in a big check. Now Samuelson ducked it in.
Well, that was a payback because Marchment had stepped into Lemieux up ice.
Hawks clear it. The Penguins put it back in, and Pack is met by Buskus. Chicago back behind the net. Steve Smith with a pass to Steve Larmer. On to Brent Sutter's stick. Two Penguins back. Sutter finding a man who has just come out of the players' bench. Goulet. He goes to the corner, but gets checked. Impact reaches in. The Hawks recover the puck. Here's Goulet. Centers one to Larmer. Larmer chased to the corner. Roberts, or Stanley, excuse me, all over him there. Pack is met on the boards by Goulet. The puck popped loose. Tocchet gets his own pass after playing it off the glass, and it bounces around and is cleared out by Francis. The tall Stanton. He dumped it in, but Chelios is able to knock it out of the air. Up to Dirk Graham. Crisscrossing at the Penguin line. Drops it. There's Noonan with a shot that hit Pack, and is recovered by Stanton. He's pulled over. Jocelyn Lemieux sent him to the ice, but back comes Ron Francis. Yager up to join the play. The pass to Yager didn't materialize. Perry is unable to get a stick on it as well, and the Hawks failed to move through center as they started out quickly. Murphy back, gave it to Airy. He lost it to Chelios. Airy again nudged it to the line, and again the Hawks are checked. Here's Ron Francis. Francis to Murphy. Long shot. Hasek the save, and he dives out to cover it, and then a crowd develops. Somebody in a black and gold uniform fell over top of Dominic Hasek, and that sets out this.
I think it was Larry Murphy. Chris Chelios was there, and then Bob Airy came in to put the glove into Chelios' face.
Things settle down. 8 minutes and 28 seconds left in this second period. One goal. Pittsburgh leads 5.
Hey, is that what I think it is? Yeah, it's my new Wagner Power Painter. Well, can you edge with it? Yeah, you can edge like this, or adjust it to control the paint up close. And when I'm done, I'm gonna switch nozzles and stain my deck. Do a lot of other jobs I've been meaning to do. Well, does it clean up easy? Yeah, it's quicker than you think. Why am I painting this by hand? Good question. Get a Wagner.
Yager has just gone down the steps to the Pittsburgh dressing room, but he is with the equipment manager, Steve Blatton. Chelios putting his helmet back on after that skirmish in front of the Chicago net.
Please go to your car immediately. And it was actually Chris Chelios that pulled Larry Murphy down on top of Hasek, and then Chris Chelios isn't finished with Larry Murphy yet. They They finished game 3 just about in that position. They started game 4 here like that. This may be getting a little sloppy, but boy, is it ever exciting.
Think back to the first period, that big elbow that Chelios threw into Larry Murphy as well that resulted in his penalty call.
Also resulted in a Pittsburgh power play goal.
We're attending to one of Jaromir Jagr's skates, we're told, from the Pittsburgh dressing room area. Must mean that he stripped an edge. Sharpen that up as Brian Trottier gets ready to sharpen up in the face-off, wins the draw. Patton's shot was blocked, and the Hawks get out of the zone. Here's Dirk Graham. He has all 3 of their goals. Trying to drive in on Ulf Samuelsson. Put the puck between his skates. Big takedown. Trottier pulled Marchment off his skates. And Trottier picks up the puck and lifts it up ahead. Stanton and Marchment collide. Now moving on is McEachran. Boort trailing the play. McEachran's shot is turned aside. Bill Boort trying to get to it. Was pulled back by Dirk Graham, and the Hawks cleared out. Penguins put it right back in the zone, and Graham moves out through center ice. Knocked off balance by Bill Boort. Hotchak is checked by McEachran, who shot went off the catching glove of Hotchak. Chelios turns it up the left side, and the Hawks trying to come through center with a long pass for Graham. He did make contact with it, but it's across 2 lines, and that's outside.
Boy, the Hawks have picked up the scent, the hitting scent. Ryan Noonan with a big hit in his last shift. Brian Marchment has been a one-man wrecking crew for the Blackhawks. Tremendous physical presence. But remember what John Davidson said before this game started. He said they can't go out of their way for the big hit. And some of the Pittsburgh Penguins' breaks have been because of those big hits that have been really out of the play. Brian Trottier pulled Brian Marchment down. No call on that one. And Andy Van Hellemond has really put his whistle away. See Jagr falling down, top left of the screen. Pretty good indication that he has lost an edge. That, oh, yeah. Well, that's the outside edge of his right skate that is gone. That's why he's gone to the locker room.
Rick Tocchet, Mario Lemieux, and Kevin Stevens make up the forward line for the Penguins at the moment. Hawks countering with Grimson, Sutter, and Larmer. And the puck is tipped over the boards and on into the seats. 7.5 minutes remaining in the second period. Mario Lemieux had a goal, added an assist in the first period. He also assisted on Rick Tocchet's goal here in the second. Leads all the scorers, both goals and assists in the Stanley Cup playoffs of '92. Gordy Roberts talking with him this morning. But you're still talking about the no-name defense. What is your name again? They are a loose group, this Pittsburgh team. They have been, even in the series with Washington, I was told, and especially so in the series with the New York Rangers. Even after the injuries to Joey Mullen and Mario Lemieux, they remain focused and in total control. On to win that, and then swept through the Boston Bruins and are poised to sweep through the Blackhawks, although the Hawks are putting up a tough battle here tonight. Pittsburgh leads 4-3. Brent Sutter brings Chicago through center, but Roberts took away the dump-in attempt. Steve Smith drives in along the left wing board. Smith trying to center off the net. Oh, the shot turned aside by Barrasso. Coming late was Larmer, and he got a big shot off.
Steve Larmer has not had many opportunities like that one. He usually buries those.
Now Larmer tied up back to the net. The puck rolls off the mesh. Brent Sutter trying to center, and look at the way the Penguins go to him, and they free up the puck for Mario. To Kevin Stevens. He can't get through center ice. Steve Smith waits for the Hawks to come back, then dumps it in. It bounces toward Barrasso. Headed off to Roberts. Both teams in the middle of player changes. Roberts looks to Murphy in the far corner. Lays it up the left wing boards. Instead, it bounced off Chelios. Picked up by Kevin Stevens. Propels it on into the Chicago end of the ice. Now the Penguins get a chance to complete their player changes. Rache has jumped on, gets bumped on the boards. Larson and Lemieux. Chris Chelios to Brian Noonan. The pass out of his reach. Pack recovers at the line. And it into the corner. Here's Chelios. Up to the left side. Penguins pinched in, but now Jeremy Roenick gets to center, has knocked out the puck, but they follow through. Jocelyn Lemieux's shot is grabbed and held by Barrasso. The clock at Chicago Stadium shows 6 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the second period.
In making an artistic statement, one's personal aroma shouldn't do the talking. So I use Right Guard Sports Stick with maximum protection. A true artiste should be known for inspiration, not perspiration. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
This bench gets a professional finish with Krylon spray paint. No runs, no drips, no air. Dries to the touch in minutes. The other brand's still tacky. Whoa! What a game.
Good game, Mr. Euchre.
He's a lot tougher than he looks. For a fast, smooth, professional finish, get Krylon.
Your goaltending matchup, Dominic Hasek, who came in to replace Ed Belfour on the left, Tom Barrasso on the right.
Boy, they got credentials in the past. Tom Barrasso won the Vezina as the best in the league in 1983, his rookie year. Also won the Calder that year, first All-Star. And Eddie Belfour was replaced by Dominic Hasek, the man on the left. In Czechoslovakia, goalie of the year in 86, 7, 8, 9, and 90. Czech player of the year, 87, 89, and 90. Czech first All-Star, 88, 89, and 90. And a first All-Star last year in Indianapolis of the International League. Not bad.
Chicago wins the draw. Buskus, after taking it from Krasek, puts it back to the net. Del Samuelson stepped in front of Grimson, played it to the corner boards. Toe kept it in deep. Now big hit thrown by Rob Brown as he caught Pack. Pittsburgh recovered the puck and cleared it out, and Buskus has to go back for Chicago. Through the middle, Rob Brown at the line, checked, it came right back to him. He can't get it in any further, and Pack gives it to Sean McEachran. McEachran with a burst of speed, driving on Krasek. Put it out in front, and Loney can't tap that by Hasek. Hasek went with a solid check from McEachran. Meantime, Buskus gets it over the line and shoots it back to the net. Lou Grimson in the far corner pulls up. The crowd reacts to his presence. Stu is the chance that the Penguins come up with the puck. Younger, met by Chelios. And the Hawks recover. Steve Smith goes to the left side. Goulet dumps it in. Rosso wants to play it here. Gotten it through Hudson and onto the stick of Loney. Loney, Dutrache up through center, but the Hawks tighten up there. And Hudson has it now. Hudson trying to get away from Loney. Armor Yager freed it up and turned it over, and Goulet's long shot goes wide. Jansen races after it. Hudson came in quickly, gave it to Goulet, centers it back, but away from Chelios. And the Hawks are forced back into their own zone. Under 5 minutes to play in the second period. Chelios has dumped it in, and the Penguins touch it first. That's an icing call against Chicago. Pittsburgh leading 4-3. Scotty Bowman with an opportunity to win another Stanley Cup in what has been a brilliant coaching career. Look at this number. Dick Irvin, after winning his first Stanley Cup as a coach in 1932, went 12 years before he would win again, the first of many. And Scotty Bowman last won a Stanley Cup with the Canadiens in '79. 13 years out of the game for 4 years after having coached and handled things in Buffalo. Does it happen tonight? Does it happen this year? The Hawks will have a lot to say about it over the course of this game and series, if it is indeed extended. Right now, Scotty's team is up by a score of 4-3 late in the second period here at the stadium. Let's check in with our Mike Emmerich. Doc?
Steve Latin, the equipment manager, has sharpened the skate of Jaromir Jagr. On our wristwatch, about 6 minutes of a delay, but on the scoreboard clock only turned out to be about 2.5. But it was only a skate problem, and he's headed back out.
Davey is on the right side of this forward line with Ron Francis in the middle and Phil Bourque on the left. Ryan Noonan on the draw for Chicago. The Penguins get to it. Roberts sends one wide. Veronic over on the left wing boards. Feeds it to Noonan. Noonan elects to dump it in. A soft up in here. Greg Gilbert after it to Veronic. They score! You can tell when the Hawks are on top of it, when their dump-ins are resulting in turnovers and scoring chances. Greg Gilbert missed that completely, but Jeremy Roenick was right behind him to support. Brian Noonan went to the side. Larry Murphy thought he had him, and he really did. This just banked in off of Brian Noonan, or did it actually go in off Larry Murphy? It may have even bounced in off the back of Larry Murphy, but give Jeremy Roenick a lot of credit for his pursuit. Greg Gilbert was the first guy in. Roenick was right there behind him, and that is one of the keys to Chicago's success in the dump and chase. 2 men in. And Marchment comes right back in, gets his own rebound, and Barrasso stopped both shots. Larmer with Brent Sutter. Chelios covering the left point. Busted in deep is taken down, and again the crowd at Chicago Stadium roars. No penalty call. Steve Smith covering the puck. Now picks it up and
summer. Something about summer makes fall a little jealous. Boats and barbecues, lawnmowers, lemonade. But hey, don't blame fall for being jealous. Summer is a very tough act to follow. And nobody does summer like Dockers shorts.
Top of the screen is the dump in by Brian Noonan. The bottom of your screen is Greg Gilbert, who was the first man in. Noonan's dump goes all the way in. Gilbert will miss it, but you can see Roenick following up on the play. A little attempted dump to Brian Noonan that banked in off the back of Larry Murphy. And that is the tying goal. We are 4-4 here with 3:31 to go in the second.
Roenick's 11th in the playoffs. His first in this Stanley Cup Final Series. Assists have been credited to Brian Noonan and Greg Gilbert. Well, it is a 4-4 tie. The Hawks, after controlling the puck, over to the left side. Krawchuk dumps it down the ice. And a slow dump in, and they get to it. Brian Noonan sets up Busquets, but it jumped over his stick. On Busquets in deeper. Roenick waits back to the net. Able to center it to a teammate. Ryan Trottier got checked at the line. Now Pack moves it up ahead. Yager right up at the Chicago line. Three Hawks collide, but they come up with the puck. Busquets turns sharply in front of Hotchek. Picked up by Trottier, but Busquets able to move it down the ice. This is going to result in a whistle. Icing call against Chicago.
Well, the Blackhawks have done a terrific job in this hockey game of keeping the puck away from Tom Barrasso. They have changed their dumps a little bit. At times they bring it up center and dump it either to the right or the left, just wide of the net. But Brian Noonan, number 10, the guy you're looking at on the bench, did execute a perfect soft cross-corner dump. He came down on the left wing boards, dumped it into the right wing corner. Greg Gilbert was the first guy there, and Jeremy Roenick, who is just coming off the bench, was the second man there. Yeah, you got to love Jeremy Roenick in this building, and he loves Chicago as well. His dad was telling me this morning he doesn't want to leave here ever. Loves the players, loves the team, the people, and it's kind of mutual. Tough not to like a guy that scores 53 goals for your hockey team.
Ain't that the truth? Ryan Trottier loves it in Pittsburgh, would like to play there again next year. So many things will happen between now and the expansion draft that will accommodate both the Ottawa Senators and the Tampa Bay Lightning, two new teams coming into the National Hockey League for next season. Stefan Matteau to Chelios, but the whistle has sounded. The play was offside as the Hawks trying to move into the Pittsburgh end of the ice. I think of something that Mike Keenan said this morning at his press briefing, Bill, that the Blackhawks did very well in the first period tonight. More cross-ice flow in front of the net. He wanted more action in front of the Pittsburgh net.
Well, he got some of that even on this play, although Brian Noonan was backing off the play. Larry Murphy was facing Noonan with his back to Jeremy Roenick when this puck bounced in right off his right leg or off his rear end. Yeah, I think the Chicago Blackhawks have done a lot better job of screening Tom Barrasso in this hockey game. But keep in mind, Pittsburgh has not been as good in their defensive coverage.
And they've just given the puck away again, and Graham got one, a hard shot on target. Barrasso came out to challenge and stop it. That's an area that Pittsburgh very seldom did in the early games of this series. Turned the puck over at their end of the ice.
Yeah, when you give point men enough time to shoot, you give forwards enough time to screen. And I think that has been a problem for the Penguins in this game compared to the first three. Their coverage in their zone has not been tight, especially out at the blue line.
Andy Van Hellemond watched Brent Sutter move in for the face-off. Marchman is on the left, Larmer is on the right, so Mike Keenan has broken up his line and stayed with the breakup. Chelios moves in from the blue line, and his shot was deflected wide. Marchman put it out in front, but right through Larmer, and Tocchet moves it onto the stick of Mario Lemieux. Lemieux trying to go through the defense, slips the puck to him. Hasek clears the zone. Murphy dumps it back in. Offside is called here. Lemieux saying, I didn't hear the whistle.
Doesn't matter if you think you've heard it or not. Pull the trigger there. Pull the trigger.
Chicago outshot in the first period has come back to outshoot Pittsburgh here in the second, and they're having fun. The capacity crowd, it'll be announced as just over 18,000, but I get the feeling there are more people than that in here. Probably closer to 20,000. And the new stadium across the street, under construction, will be opening in 1994. And please be into reminding you that Bill in the one-minute movie, we're out at the construction site today. Just a little tease about what's coming up in our second intermission tonight. Vasquez tips the puck into the Pittsburgh zone, and it's cleared right back out. That'll roll to Hasek. Out of Kravchuk. Right out on the left wing boards. Jocelyn Lemieux gave it to Vasquez, who dumps it in now. Larry Murphy goes back. Murphy played it around the boards as he saw Noonan coming after it. Here's Pocket on left wing. To Mario Lemieux. He picks the pocket of Kravchuk. Comes into the backhand. Hits it by Hasek. What a big stop. The Blackhawks right out on the right side, but Kirk Graham is checked. Following through is Jocelyn Lemieux. He's over the line with a pass to Graham. He shoots. That changed direction, and Samuelson tipped it for Pittsburgh. Noonan keeps it in to Lemieux. Now to Graham. Paul Samuelson tying him up. Ryan Noonan there as well, but Larry Murphy has dug the puck loose. Gave it to Tocchet. Pass to Mario Lemieux. He is hit him down by Chelios. Up comes Stevens. Look at the play by Hasek. How do you do? You talk about a challenge. And now the Hawks recover at center ice. Steve Smith brings them into the Pittsburgh zone.
1 minute to play.
We've seen a little bit of everything in this game. Goulet to Roenick. Jeremy Roenick to Steve Larmer. Back to Chelios. That's a go, and it was blocked by Kevin Stevens. Stevens favoring his left leg after blocking that shot. Here's Goulet across the blue line. Michel Goulet can't get that through Kevin Stevens. Chelios pops back for Chicago. 35 seconds left in the second period. Steve Larmer across the line with a pass that is tipped out of the zone. Yager can't pick it up, however. Steve Smith gets the play back onside. But now he has to wait as his teammates get up ahead of him. Puck is dumped in. Also tips it back to the net. Del Samuelson plays it around the board. Larmer trying to dig it off the corner boards. Does with 13 seconds left, but he missed the man at the left point. And Steve Smith has to drop back. Not enough time for a rush for the Blackhawks. Brent Sutter takes a look, gave the puck to Larmer. One long shot, however, and he can't get it on. Samuelson shot it off Yager's skate as the horn sounds to end what was an unbelievable second period. Here's our John Davidson.
Jake, what we've seen here is Chicago much smarter with their dump-ins that led to the fourth goal, the one that Roenick banked in off of Larry Murphy. When it doesn't happen, though, we're seeing Pittsburgh counter every shift almost, and Lemieux's on the ice. He's getting some sort of a counter play up through the middle. He is hungry. He has been great, but so is Dominic Hasek. Tigger?
We have seen some tremendous hockey through 40 minutes here in Chicago.
Reason why cab drivers look at you like you got two heads when you come to Chicago Stadium and tell them you want gate 3.5 because they don't believe you. And there are a lot of NHL rookies that have been lost for weeks at a time looking for gate 3.5, but that's actually how you get into Chicago Stadium if you're a player. The great things about Chicago Stadium is that it's 10, 11, 12, 13 steps right here, and the ice surface opens up for you. Tremendous. The only thing the players won't miss about Chicago Stadium is coming out of their locker room to the 19 stairs that they have to climb to get up to ice level. I played a double overtime game here in 1981. And man, did 19 stairs ever seem like 19 stories by the end of that one. Fall in 94, there won't be any more Chicago Stadium, at least not right here, but the new one, literally, will be right across the street. This big hole in the ground will be the site of the new Chicago Stadium. So have you ever been in the existing Chicago Stadium?
No, I've never been in it.
You heard a lot about it?
Oh, yeah.
How do you think the new one's going to be?
Could be better. I'm sure it'd be a lot easier to get in and out of.
Yeah.
A lot more space for a bigger crowd. Should be good.
And even if the Hawks can't come back in this series, they're going to be taking with them a whole...
3 seasons, now into the fourth, Sports Channel America has had the privilege of bringing you that Stanley Cup presentation. We'll have it again this season. We'll see tonight. This game is on the line.